Assalamu alaikum warahmatullah. Please be seated. Hello, how are you?
I invite the Hadhrat Sahib for a recitation of the Holy Quran, please.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. My name is Muhammad Siddiq. It is our tradition to start our programs with a recitation from the Holy Quran. I will now present a few verses from the Holy Quran. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم ولله ما في السماوات وما في الأرض وإلى الله ترجع الأمور كنتم خير أمة أخرجت للناس تأمرون بالمعروف وتنهون عن المنكر وتؤمنون بالله ولو آمن أهل الكتاب لكان خيرا لهم منهم المؤمنون وأكثرهم الفاسقون. Now the English translation of the verses which I have just recited from Surah Al-Imran, chapter 3 of the Holy Quran, verse 110 up to 111. I seek refuge with Allah from Satan, the accursed, in the name of Allah, the gracious, the merciful. And to Allah belongs whatever is in the heavens and whatever is in the earth. And to Allah shall all affairs be returned for decision. You are the best people raised for the good of mankind. You enjoined good and forbid evil, and believe in Allah. And if the people of the book had believed, it would have surely been better for them. Some of them are believers, but most of them are transgressors. Thank you.
A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Assalamu alaikum, dear Huzur. It is my privilege to introduce the MC of today's program, the mayor of this city, the city of Vaughan, His Worship, the Honorable Maurizio Bevilacqua.
Assalamu alaikum. Your Holiness, ladies and gentlemen, honored guests, it's indeed a pleasure for me to welcome you all to this incredible celebration. A welcome addition to this great city of Vaughan, an addition that speaks to the incredible ability of this city to welcome and promote diversity. I have the distinct pleasure to welcome a man whose leadership is well known to all of us, an individual who not only respected here in the city of Vaughan, but throughout the country. And I'm referring, of course, to the national president, Lal Khan Malik.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Peace and blessings of God be upon all of you. Beloved Huzur, Your Holiness, distinguished guests, and my brothers and sisters. By the grace of Allah, today we have gathered here for the inauguration ceremony of Aiwan-e-Tahir, also known as Tahir Hall. At the hands of His Holiness Hazrat Mirza Masroor Ahmad, head of the worldwide Ahmadiyya Muslim community, may God help him in all his endeavors. I would like to share with you a brief history of this latest project of the Ahmadiyya Muslim community in Canada. Soon after inauguration of the beautiful white mosque, Baitul Islam, in Maple, Ontario, in 1992, Majlis Khudam al-Ahmadiyya, an auxiliary youth wing of the Ahmadiyya Muslim community, envisioned a futuristic facility for sports and recreation beside the Baitul Islam Mosque. This dream was given a breath of life when His Holiness Hazrat Mirza Tahir Ahmad, may Allah have mercy on him, the fourth successor to the promised Messiah, peace be upon him, kindly granted permission for the building of this facility. Furthermore, he graciously accepted the proposal to name it as his namesake, Aiwan-e-Tahir. Therefore, Majlis Khudam al-Ahmadiyya, along with the Women Association of the community, started a campaign for donations of $313 each for the new Aiwan-e-Tahir Fund and began collecting donations for this project. However, due to certain constraints, this project was delayed. Then in 2010, Humanity First, the charitable organization well known now not only in Canada but throughout the world, presented a proposal to build a community center at this property. With the approval of our beloved master, Hazrat Mirza Masroor Ahmad, may Allah help him, the Ahmadiyya community Canada acquired the project from Humanity First and brought it to its final shape that you see this evening. With the grace of God, Aiwan-e-Tahir was completed at a total cost of $9.6 million, an amount raised exclusively by the members of the Ahmadiyya Muslim community in Canada during the last 2 years. Beloved Huzur, Your Holiness, Aiwan-e-Tahir has 3 floors. The main floor includes a large gymnasium where we are holding this event to promote physical fitness and healthy lifestyle. It has facilities for playing basketball, volleyball, badminton, table tennis in the main gymnasium. Additionally, the hall also serves the purpose of an auditorium where symposia, seminars, blood donations, drives, and other programs like the one this evening are held. The main floor also has a dedicated exercise room with treadmills and other cardio equipment. Beloved Huzur, this facility has been built with the intention to serve the needs of the community for now and for many years to come. This facility will provide a positive environment where our youth, women, and seniors alike would be able to develop a healthy lifestyle while maintaining a spiritual contact with the community because of the proximity to the mosque. Moreover, physical fitness and sports competitions held under supervision ensure that all those who use these facilities not only benefit physically, but also stay away from the harmful influences of the society. The Ahmadiyya Muslim community plans to utilize this facility to organize sports competitions, tournaments that would be open to all Torontonians. A computer training lab has also been included to help members to familiarize themselves with computers and other IT technologies. There is also a multi-purpose room with the capacity to hold about 100 people. This multi-purpose room will be used to host small seminars and community events. The second and the third floors. These 2 floors house the offices of the community along with capabilities to promote spiritual and educational excellence. There are also conference rooms on both levels for meetings and group working sessions. Our beloved Master, this entire facility is designed in such a way that it can serve as an overflow to the Baitul Islam Mosque on occasions of large events like our Eid festivals, like the visit of Your Holiness, festivals, annual conferences, etc. At the end, I request you, as our dear Huzur, Your Holiness, to formally announce opening of this Aiwan-e-Tahir complex and pray that Allah blesses this facility for the community at large.
Assalamu alaikum, may peace be upon you. As you may know in your programs, the mayor is supposed to come back up. However, the mayor asked me to take care of the second part of the program, which was the guest remarks, as he wanted to spend more time sitting beside His Holiness. So I understand why he did that. We have some very special guests with us today that would like to share their remarks and congratulatory notes on the construction of this building. And I call upon our first very special guest who actually spoke at the Jalsa Salana this past Friday, the Honorable Julian Fantino, Minister of International Cooperation.
Your Holiness, distinguished head table guests, ladies and gentlemen, dear friends, Assalamu alaikum. It's indeed a great honor and a privilege for me to be able to bring greetings on behalf of the Right Honorable Prime Minister of Canada, and if I may, I'll read his comments. I am delighted to join with His Holiness, the Supreme Head of the worldwide Ahmadiyya Muslim community, for the inauguration of this new community center in Vaughan. Canada is blessed to have an active Ahmadiyya Muslim community. Ahmadis are renowned for their devotion to peace, universal brotherhood, and submission to the will of God, the core principles of true Islam. Your commitment to working together to serve the greater good through social, health, and educational initiatives has enriched our country's social fabric. I am certain that this new community center will be a focal point for your good works and will foster fellowship among Ahmadiyya Muslim Canadians in Vaughan for generations to come. This occasion marks the culmination of months of planning, dedication, and hard work by many individuals. As you open the doors of this new facility to the community, I congratulate everyone involved in bringing this exciting project to fruition. On behalf of the Government of Canada, please accept my best wishes for an enjoyable and memorable celebration. Sincerely, the Right Honourable Stephen Harper, Prime Minister of Canada. Mr. Malik, if I can present this to you, if I may.
I will present it to His Holiness. I will present it to His Holiness. Thank you.
And Your Holiness, the Prime Minister specifically asked that I convey his personal regards to you and a warm welcome to Canada. And he fondly remembers meetings he's had with you on previous occasions, and he wishes you a happy return. God bless and thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Minister. I would like to acknowledge a few guests that are with us today. We have the Honorable Navdeep Bains. We have the Honorable Miri Amina, Honorable Boris Woznowski, Raj Sandhu, Councillor Bradford, and our former regional councillor, Mario Ferry, who was instrumental in helping us get the permits and everything ready for this building. So thank you very much for being with us today. Our next speaker is a friend from the community from the riding of Brampton West, Member of Federal Parliament, Mr. Kyle Seaback.
It's a pleasure for me to be here, and I want to thank Laocoon Malik for the invitation, and it's a pleasure to be in the presence of Your Holiness here tonight. I have to say that every time I get to spend some time with the Ahmadiyya community, I end up being more impressed. It began when I came to one of your jalsas and I first saw your message, love for all, hatred for none. It is an incredible contribution to Canadian society. And in addition to that, the charitable work that is done by your community, whether it be raising money for the local hospital, whether it be running blood drives, whether it be the work that is done by Humanity First all across the world, your contributions are absolutely fantastic. It's a model and a beacon for all Canadians. We should all be proud to have such a strong and vibrant community, Ahmadiyya community, here in Canada. And I think this is a fabulous crowning achievement, a community center that you have built with donations from your community, with no help or funds from governments. As far as I'm aware, it's the only community center of its kind here in the country. So all of you should be very proud of the hard work of your community and the great contributions that you make to our society. Thank you for inviting me, and congratulations.
Thank you, Kyle. Our next guest had the privilege of meeting with His Holiness just a day or two ago, and she is the Honourable Judy Segro, Member of Parliament from the riding where the Ahmadiyya Abode of Peace resides.
Good afternoon, Your Holiness, President Malik, table guests, and all of the people that are here this evening. This is a very, very special day. One of the communities should be so, so proud of itself. These facilities don't get built easily, and there's very few communities that can manage to raise $9 million to build a facility like this that's going to be used by the community at large. It's a donation to Canadian society, if you look at it, because everybody who uses it are Canadians, people who share our same ideals and values. So I'm thrilled to be here. I've watched it go up and monitored and look very much forward to the day where we could all have this great celebration together. And I'll have many opportunities to be here again. I bring you greetings on behalf of the Liberal Party of Canada and the Honourable Bob Rae, who regrets the fact that he couldn't be with us this evening. And greetings from, of course, all of my constituents in York West, that many are probably here, and to those who are not here, they're watching carefully and with such admiration for being here. I'd like to read a small presentation of a plaque that I would hope can get hung as a memory of this very, very special event. To my dear friends in the Ahmadi community, I am deeply honored and pleased to extend my personal congratulations to the Ahmadi Muslim community of Canada in the presence of His Holiness as you gather for the formal inauguration of this beautiful new complex called Aiwan-e-Tahir. For many years, you have worked to create a better future by faithfully practicing the virtues of morality, justice, and peace. In this vein, I have been particularly pleased to collaborate with the Ahmadi community. Together, we have made a difference not only in York West, but in the greater community as a whole. With this in mind, those involved with the Aiwan-e-Tahir should be commended and congratulated for yet another inspiring example of faithful community building efforts and for a tremendous dedication to both your faith and to our city and to our country. In the years ahead, may peace and spiritual revelation lead you towards a path which affords you the opportunity to exert to the fullest. And I look forward and thank you for this very long, lasting friendship. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Our next guest is also a Member of Parliament, Dr. Christy Duncan.
Good Assalamu alaikum. Your Holiness, distinguished guests, my brothers, my sisters, my family. It is an honor and a privilege to be here tonight to celebrate this tremendous facility that is such a gift to our community and to Canada. This is a place where we can promote a healthy lifestyle, physical activity, good nutrition, and we may have future athletes here who may go to the next Olympics. As a former coach, if I can humbly serve in this facility, I would love to do so. I want to thank you for the gift of your friendship. As always, I think we come here and we're all inspired by what you do for the community and for Canada. And I want to say thank you for allowing me to be at convention on the weekend and to hear His Holiness and be inspired by your words. So my brothers, my sisters, my family, my heartfelt and profound thanks and many congratulations. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Duncan. Our next speaker has known us for many years. She is from the Brampton area, and she is the Minister of Natural Resources, the Honourable Linda Jeffrey, Member of Provincial Parliament.
Assalamu alaikum. On behalf of the Government of Ontario, I extend a warm greeting to everyone attending this official inauguration of this special hall, and I'm honored to be here with your Emir, my friend, Lala Khan Malik. This has been a very special week for me. This weekend I was fortunate enough to hear His Holiness at the speech at the International Centre, and I was so inspired. I know my colleague Greg Cervera would have wished to be here this evening, but he sent us a message. He said he was sorry he couldn't be with you this evening and that he wanted to celebrate this great achievement together with His Holiness and the entire community. He told me that this was the latest example of the growth and the success that you've achieved over the years, first by establishing the mosque here in Vaughan, and then through the many shared endeavors and community projects, including the hospital. He was honored and humbled by your friendship and your support. So on behalf of our government, it is an honor for me to be here at the opening of this new complex. I saw this building probably a month ago, and at the time, I remember how impressed I was. This room was filled with young women and children, and they were playing basketball and soccer, and I saw the potential of this facility. It was exciting and it was inspiring. It was obviously a place for people of all ages will be able to exercise, to do spiritual contemplation, to talk, to engage each other, and to reflect. So the purpose of this multi-purpose complex is another example of how the Ahmadiyya community continues to contribute to the economic, social, and political fabric of our provinces. Spaces such as this add to the cultural and interfaith mosaic of Ontario and Canada as a whole, and they're symbolic of how this community is contributing to the strengthening ties that unite us all. In this way, your contributions not only make the Ahmadiyya community stronger, they make Ontario stronger. Faith is something we celebrate here in Ontario, so thank you for your faithful commitment to Ontario and to our communities. By raising your children with a commitment and a passion for education and community service, you've made Ontario stronger. By building businesses and centers that create jobs and contribute to a good life for others, and by pursuing and excelling in your chosen career and bringing skills and education to Ontario. Your good work and your leadership is seen in the local community by raising money for the hospital and for blood drives and for hosting Canada Day celebrations. Your hard work extends beyond Ontario. I'm confident this complex will allow you to do more and showcase the leadership and the hard work and the champions that you are for Ontario. I bring a certificate from the Premier. I'll read a little bit of it. Today we celebrate the opening of this much anticipated gathering place and centre for the Ahmadiyya community. The completion of this centre is an affirmation of your enduring faith, and I'm honored to mark this occasion because within it resides your families and your communities that will build your spiritual strength. May the Ahmadiyya community continue to thrive, and may you continue to show strength and inspiration for your faith and from each other. Congratulations.
Thank you, Minister. Our next guest is here to keep us all safe today. He is the Chief of Police, Mr. Eric Joliffe.
Good evening, Your Holiness, President Malik, Minister Fantino, Mayor Bevilacqua, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. It is a true honor to be here representing the over 2,000 men and women of the York Regional Police. And an honor here also because I grew up in this great community of Vaughan and have policed this community for over 30 years and have watched this community here on this particular property grow over the last 25 years. You have done some outstanding work here, and just our heartiest congratulations for your efforts and the results for your work. And as a community that boasts diversity, your logo or slogan, love for all, hatred for none, couldn't be more apropos for this region. And it is with my heartiest congratulations on the opening of the center. Congratulations.
Thank you, Chief. Our next guest is the local councillor for this very ward, and she's become a very good friend of the community and has been doing a lot of work for us. I'd like to welcome Marilyn Iafredi.
Assalamu alaikum. Good evening, everyone. I am honored to be here tonight to represent the residents of Maple and Kleinburg and, of course, the Ahmadiyyan community for this special event celebrating the inauguration of Tahir Hall. I want to thank His Holiness for gracing us with his presence at the official opening. Also, I would like to thank Mr. Lal Khan Malik and the entire Ahmadiyyan Muslim community for the opportunity to participate in this event. I know that this new facility will be a source of pride and enjoyment for the Ahmadiyyan Muslim community as well as the residents of Vaughan. I want to thank you all for embracing this city and becoming not just a part of our diverse and multicultural community, but full participants in the entire community. You continually set the example of inclusivity. Tahir Hall Community Center is a testament to the power of what members of this community can accomplish when they come together to achieve a common goal. Tahir Hall is also a catalyst for continued growth and construction of other facilities on these very same lands, as Mr. Lal Khan Malik and his team of community leaders understand the challenge to meet the growing needs of the members of the Peace Village and beyond. You have a vision for the Peace Village that is inspirational and truly extraordinary, and we thank you for choosing Maple as your community of choice to realize that vision. I hope to see His Holiness again in the near future, as together we continue to build forward on the foundations of what we have here today. Thank you.
Thank you, Marilyn. Our last speaker for the day is the mayor of the town of Bradford. And Bradford is the town where we hope to, inshallah, move our annual convention to, where we have purchased a large parcel of land. Recently, the mayor had the opportunity to meet with His Holiness And he mentioned at that time that it was the most excited and the most nervous that he had ever felt. So please help me welcome His Worship Mayor Doug White.
Good evening, Your Holiness, Mr. President, distinguished guests, friends. I'm very proud to be joined here tonight by Councillor Raj Sandhu from the great town of Bradford, West Gwillimbury. And I just want to take you back in time to when the mosque was not here and when this beautiful facility was not here and the community where many Ahmadiyya live was not here. Well, that's what Bradford was like just 2 years ago when I first met members of the community and you shared your plans with me. And now we have over 40 members of your community, 40 families call our town home. By the end of the year, there will be 80. And now I'm proud to say we have a mosque. And as Azov just mentioned, there are big plans in the not too distant future. And I just want to let you know, Your Holiness, I support them completely. And on Sunday, when I listened to Mr. Sorbera refer to this as a garden that started with one seed and a lot of effort and a lot of determination. And tonight, as standing at this podium and seeing this crowd and seeing this beautiful new building, I boldly dream that my town can partner with the Ahmadiyya community and build something as beautiful as this in my town. And for those of you that may not know exactly where Bradford, West Gwillimbury is, I shared with His Holiness that when you drive up Highway 400, you'll see the beautiful black soil of the Holland Marsh, the most fertile farmland in the province, if not the country, which I know is dear to your heart, Your Holiness, as an agricultural expert. That's where we start. And like I said, I hope that a beautiful garden will continue to grow in Bradford with our town and the Ahmadiyya community. Congratulations. Thank you very much. Shukriya.
Thank you, Mayor. I did not forget to acknowledge our family members from the City of Vaughan Council. I assume the Mayor will do this, but I do want to thank Deb, Michael, and Tony for being with us today. Our next guest, I did mention it was going to be the last guest, but I had thought perhaps our next guest missed his flight. He had mentioned to me that he was on his way back from vacation, and I believe he's flying out again, but he was making a special stop to be with us today, and I notice he's on the right side of the stage. The Honourable Bob Rae, Leader of the Liberal Party of Canada.
Your Holiness and ladies and gentlemen, it's a great honor to be here. I only wish I was coming back from vacation. I was at the Calgary Stampede, which involves extensive work, jumping, rodeos, lassoing things, a lot of activity. And then I was in Fort McMurray, which is the fastest growing community in Canada. And I've spent 3 days there and just got back today. So it's a great pleasure and privilege to be able to join you with my colleagues, Judy and Kirsty and other members of the Liberal Party and movement who are here today. It's a great privilege for Arlene and I to be able to join all of you tonight in Your Holiness. It's a great honor to have you once again with us. It is, if I may say so, I do take a certain degree of pride in this development here, much of which took place during the time that I had a little bit to say about where we would be able to build some housing and move forward to make sure that we made great progress. And we were able to do that in the province of Ontario for a period of time, and I have watched the development of the community with such pride and such sense of joy. And Your Holiness, you are so welcome here with us. The message of the Ahmadiyya Muslim community is a message that we embrace in Canada, and we celebrate the commitment to understanding, the commitment to love, the commitment to renewal and to religious toleration and understanding, which is at the heart of the Canadian ideal as much as it is at the heart of the belief and credo of the Ahmadiyya Muslim movement. If I may say so, even at a time like this, a time of celebration, we stand in solidarity in Canada with those members of your community who continue to face discrimination and who continue to face difficulty and challenges in many, many countries in the world where members of the Ahmadiyya movement are living. And we continue to stand in solidarity and will continue to speak out in defense of the members of the community who are facing great challenges and who have faced great challenges over the last several years and months. And we'll continue to fight for a world that we will be as tolerant and will be as celebratory of the diversity of the communities as our own dear Canada. So, Your Holiness, it is wonderful to have you here again with us, and we are very, very proud of the relationship that we have with the Ahmadiyya Muslim movement. Thank you so much for allowing me to say a few words, even though we came in a little late. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Ray. And I don't think any of us believe you that you were not on vacation. I bid you adieu, and I return back the duties to the real MC of the program, His Worship, the Honorable Maurizio Bevilacqua.
Thank you very much, Asif. Great sharing the MC role with you. Ladies and gentlemen, I think that tonight we need to put this incredible, incredible celebration into its proper context. Tonight we celebrate a growing community, a community who has an incredible capacity to not only state their principles through speeches, but they have the great capacity to manifest all that lies within their heart and spirit. And by that I mean that this is a community that day in and day out in this great city of Vaughan is able to give of themselves in a very meaningful way. In ways they speak to a higher calling, in ways that speak to what I believe to be the essential elements of good citizenship, but also representing the very best of what humanity has to offer. Tonight we show respect also to the fourth Khalifa. This wonderful hall is named after this educational, recreational complex. And respect is extremely important to those who have given of themselves for the betterment of humanity. There is no question about the fact that words need to be followed with actions and deeds. There's something extremely powerful about physical presence, whether it's the mosque or whether it is this wonderful hall whose inauguration we are celebrating tonight. Because that physical presence here in the city of Vaughan speaks to the fact that this community is here in full partnership. It is a community that state their opinion quite clearly, deeply rooted in those values that speak to peace, respect for one another, speak to those values that, to me, are really the essence of what humanity ought to be. And so, Your Holiness, the 300,000 people that are the residents and citizens of this city work hand in hand with your community to bring about positive change every day in every way. That is how great communities are built. That is how great cities are built. And there are no shortcuts. Out of good comes good. Out of a sense of belonging, compassion, understanding, out of a sense of labor of love, you get structures like this. But this structure is shared with everyone. This is no isolated accident. This happened because a community decided to make its mark, to provide opportunities to individuals, to expand opportunities for our young people, and to share it with the entire community. That's how we got here tonight. And this community, not only here in the city of Vaughan, but throughout our country, continues to make a profound contribution to development of our nation. And there is no greater honor that can be bestowed on anyone. And I personally don't think that there's anything more important in our lives than to help each other out, than to be there for each other. And so whether we are building a peace village here in the city of Vaughan, or whether it's a blood donor clinic, or organizing the Run for Vaughan so that we collectively can have a hospital in this city, or the promotion of interfaith dialogue. The Ahmadiyya community promotes that. And it promotes it because through dignity and integrity, we can achieve great things collectively. And so, Your Holiness, I want to express to you on behalf of 300,000 people who proudly call the city of Vaughan home, I want to express to you my warmest and sincerest gratitude. Because your community is the embodiment of all that is truly special about Canadian citizenship. You have a compassionate heart, you're active participants, and you play an integral role in making communities stronger, healthier, and more vibrant. And so tonight, as we celebrate this wonderful inauguration, let us be mindful of all that it truly represents. It represents the very best of what the Canadian experience is about. It represents the very best of what your community has consistently shown every day in every way. And so, my dear friends, I now have the very distinct honor, and may I say I have the privilege, along with Regional Councillor Michael DiBiase, Mayor Naya Frady, Tony Corella, Regional Councillor Deb Scholl, to request His Holiness Hazrat Mirza Masroor Ahmad, the 5th Khalifa of the Ahmadiyya Muslim community, to address us. Your Holiness.
أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله أما بعد فأعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. All the guests, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Peace and blessing of Allah be upon you all. First of all, I would like to take this opportunity to express my gratitude to all of you who have kindly accepted our invitation and joined us here today. I should clarify that where, on the one hand, this expression of thanks is a necessary moral courtesy, even more importantly, for a true Muslim, it is an essential religious obligation to always display gratitude where it is due. This is because the founder of Islam, the Holy Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessing of Allah be upon him, has taught that a person should always express his appreciation for the acts of kindness or goodness of others towards him. He taught that a person who is not grateful to his fellow man is actually ungrateful to God Almighty. Bearing in mind the significance of this, I am certainly obliged to express my heartfelt gratitude to you. Indeed, it would be a huge oversight on my part if, as the head of the religious community, I did not myself act upon the high moral standards which I constantly remind members of our community to uphold. This is because it is a display of moral qualities that are a means of becoming close to God Almighty. With these words of thanks to all of you, it is also essential for me to be hugely thankful to God Almighty, who has enabled our community to build this beautiful new hall, which is called the Tahir Hall, and where we are gathered today. Indeed, it is a great blessing for us that we have the honor of welcoming all of you, our distinguished guests, and have been given the opportunity to extend our hospitality to you. Upon observing how the members of our community have very quickly given great personal sacrifices so that this building could be constructed, my sentiments of gratitude to God increase even more. Allah the Almighty has said that if a person is grateful to Him, then He shall bless that person even more. Thus, the Ahmadiyya Muslim Jamaat express its gratitude and make sacrifices with this spirit and desire. I am also very grateful to your government as one of its departments kindly offered to make a significant financial contribution towards this project. And indeed, initially, it did assist in this way. However, with a sense of deep appreciation for this kind gesture, we returned all of this money to the government and resolved that the members of our community would raise all funds and complete this project themselves. And indeed, this is how it transpired. By returning this money to the government, it was our intention and hope that they could utilize these funds somewhere else where there was a greater need. The underlying reason for our decision were twofold. First of all, it has always been our way and belief that the members of the Jamaat should themselves raise the necessary funds required for the various projects of the community. However, alongside this, we truly and sincerely felt that we should not burden the state, but rather we should try and save its money so that it can be used to help the nation progress in other projects that can help the country. This indeed is an example of how much love Ahmadis hold for their nation. Certainly, the Ahmadi Muslims living here desire nothing but progress of this great country. I should also hereby state that whilst this hall has been entirely self-funded, however, apart from its being used by the Ahmadiyya Muslim community, it will also be available for use by non-Ahmadis for their meetings or events, subject to the terms of use set down by our local community administration. In short, we are truly grateful to God Almighty, who has granted us this great facility in this area, and undoubtedly, it is also a very positive and beautiful addition to the local area, as has been mentioned by so many of our guest speakers and honorable guests. As I see people from different religions, nationalities, and backgrounds sitting before me, I cannot hold back from expressing the heartfelt and genuine sentiments of love that I hold in my heart for this country of Canada. Indeed, seeing all of you has reinforced and increased the love I have for this great nation. Canada is a vast country, spread far and wide, and in the same way, the levels of tolerance and mutual respect displayed by the Canadian people is vast and truly exemplary. The forefathers and early settlers of this nation certainly demonstrated extremely high levels of tolerance and open-heartedness in the way they kept the doors of this country open for those people who came to Canada later. This spirit of openness has harnessed a great unity within this nation, despite the fact that its citizens have come from so many different parts of the world. Canada truly represents the coming together of different people to form one unified nation. It is clearly apparent that despite the diverse ethnic, religious, and cultural backgrounds of the citizens of Canada, they are all proud of being Canadian. People of different backgrounds and religions have been accepted amongst each other, and they live together in great mutual harmony. Certainly, this is a huge distinction of this country. It was in view of such a harmonious society that my predecessor, Hadhrat Mirza Tahir Ahmad, the fourth Khalifa of the Ahmadiyya community, stated in admiration of Canada that he wished that the whole world becomes Canada and Canada becomes the whole world. And so we find that the spirit of open-heartedness and desire to care for the feelings and sentiments of others is widely found here and we also find that people of all backgrounds are fully accepted and absorbed into the society. In the Urdu language, there is an idiom that is commonly used about water and earth, or it is somehow an analogy. It means that where people are good, the water and earth must be good. But where people are bad, it must be that their deficiencies in the quality, there are deficiencies in the quality of water and earth. Therefore, I say without hesitation that the water and earth of Canada certainly contains high moral values and loyalty. However, it is the duty of the citizens of this country to make sure that they never let these qualities and distinction die away, because it is these very attributes that distinguish you from others. And certainly in the future, you will come to witness that these qualities will continue to benefit and bless you forevermore. I recall that when I first came to Canada in 2004, upon arriving at the airport, there were many politicians and people associated with the government who were present to welcome me to the country. When I saw this, I was extremely pleased, but also quite astonished. It felt as though I had come back to my own country, and it was my own brothers and sisters who were there to greet me. Upon witnessing those scenes, I was happily reassured that the Ahmadi Muslim here in Canada had made great efforts in building friendships and relationships with the people of this country, or I should say, with their fellow country people. It proved that the Ahmadis were not hidden away within their own community, but in fact had integrated and become a true part of the Canadian society. It proved that the Ahmadis were in close contact with people of all backgrounds, religions, and views. All of this illustrated that the Ahmadis who lived here had become an active part of Canadian society and were ever ready to help and support the nation to progress in every way. Through my various visits to Canada, I have been able to develop a strong personal bond and friendship with many people here. However, I should say that in terms of developing these strong relations, it was the Canadian people who took the first initiative and steps. Amongst all of my friends here, there is one person who deserves particular recognition because he has always extended a deep and sincere hand of friendship towards me, and that is Canada's Minister for Citizenship, Immigration, and Multiculturalism, Jason Kenney. Just over 2 years ago, on 28th May 2010, two of our Ahmadi mosques were barbarically attacked in Lahore, Pakistan, during the Friday prayer by terrorists. On that day, 86 Ahmadi Muslims were brutally martyred, and more than 200 other Ahmadis were injured. Some of them were seriously injured. At that time, of deep grief, the very first person amongst those with whom we are well acquainted to send his condolences and to express his grief was Jason Kenney. Indeed, a few days later, he also telephoned me in London to express his heartfelt condolences. Both of these gestures were greatly appreciated by our community. Then, when our new mosque in Calgary was inaugurated by me in 2008, he once again demonstrated his ties of friendship. I should also mention our gratitude and respect for Canada's Prime Minister, Stephen Harper, because he also spared his precious time to attend the opening of our mosque in Calgary. The Prime Minister attended the event even though he was just about to leave for Japan to attend an international conference. Such efforts and kindness prove that the fulfillment of high moral values and the ties of friendship are being displayed by those people who are at the highest ranks of the country. Similarly, there are quite a number of other politicians who are not members of the ruling party at present, but also have shown and are showing the same gesture. And I hold them in high esteem, such as Judy, she is our longtime friend, and the president of the party, Bob Berry. They are also having good relations with the community and respect. The total number of Ahmadi Muslims living in Canada is not all that large. Thus, these moral courtesies cannot have been shown in an effort to win votes or to gain political capital. Rather, they are being displayed purely out of a high regard for human values. In a similar vein, I was also very impressed by the high moral qualities of Calgary's former mayor, David Thomas Rongonnier, during my visit in 2008. Most certainly, he welcomed me with open arms and truly was a great host. I have also had the good fortune of meeting many members of the general public during my visit to Canada, the previous visits to Canada. And having done so, I have come to the conclusion that this country's high moral standards are found in every segment of society and at all levels. Earlier this year, the Foreign Minister of Canada, John Baird, visited the UK and expressed a desire to meet with me. Therefore, he visited our headquarters in London, and we held a meeting during which I was very pleased to learn from him that the Canadian government was establishing an office for religious freedom. Certainly, this is a very significant and important matter for which the world stands in crucial need so that global peace can develop. The issue of religious freedom is not only important or significant to those people who hold a certain faith or religion. In fact, in order for the world peace to be established and in order for high moral standards to develop, it is absolutely essential for all people to be concerned about this issue, even if they do not believe in any religion or the existence of God. When a religious follower expresses incorrect opinion or raises unfounded allegations in relation to other religions, it leads to the spread of restlessness and anxiety. Similarly, when people who do not believe in God or do not follow any religion make unjust criticism about religion and even speak about banning religion or curtailing religious practices, then such activities also undermine the cohesion of society because they are means of spreading anxiety. Over time, such fears and worries increase, and so the peace of society is negatively affected and even destroyed. At this time, we should not be increasing the pain and turmoil of the world, and we should not cause for anxieties and grudges to spread. On the contrary, it is a great need of the time that we make efforts to foster peace, love, and reconciliation. And we must strive to respect the feelings and sentiments of others. How does Islam take care of sentiments and feelings of people? In relation to this, I shall briefly explain. However, before doing so, I would like to clarify something which will help you understand the real beauty of Islamic teachings. The very essence and foundation of Islamic teachings is the oneness and unity of God. This is the truly fundamental principle underpinning Islam. Indeed, Allah the Almighty has deemed a person who associates partners with him to be a great sinner and wrongdoer. Idol worship has been strictly forbidden and is considered to be a grave sin. However, despite this, in the Holy Quran, Allah has instructed Muslims that they should not abuse or speak ill of the idols of other people. This is because if Muslims speak in abusive terms about what others believe to be divine, then it could provoke a reaction in them, whereby they make curse or speak ill of Allah the Almighty. Naturally, this would cause deep pain and resentment to Muslims, and taking any revenge or giving a negative reaction would cause the peace of society to be destroyed. Thus, Muslims are advised that for the sake of the world's harmony, they should avoid all gatherings where hurtful and unjust things are being said. And so these are the beautiful and peaceful teachings of Islam. I shall now mention another beautiful aspect of Islam. To propagate and spread the teachings of Islam is certainly the duty of every Muslim. However, the Holy Quran has instructed that when the message is conveyed, it must be done gently and with kindness. Muslims must speak to others in a compassionate, loving, and soft manner so that the feelings of all others are protected and never hurt. Allah the Almighty has also invited all religions towards a means of ending mutual conflicts by stating that people should join together to the common factor that lies between them, which is the worship of the one God. We Ahmadi Muslims believe that all religions are true and that all prophets of God brought the same two fundamental teachings. Firstly, that mankind should worship God Almighty, and secondly, that all people should live together with a spirit of mutual love and compassion. Therefore, all religious followers should keep these golden principles in mind whenever the opportunity arises to meet with one another. If these principles are adopted, then enmities and hatred will never increase. God Almighty has very clearly addressed the Muslims in the Holy Quran and stated categorically that there should be no compulsion in religion. If there is no compulsion, then there is nothing to stop every single person, regardless of their beliefs, to come together and establish good mutual relations based on high human values. These are just a few aspects of Islamic teachings that I have presented before you. Look and see just how perfectly sentiments and feelings of all people have been protected by Islam. The importance of religion has been explained. The status of God has been explained, and how to establish good mutual relations based on positive human values has also been described. One further point that I wish to mention is certainly of extreme importance. I wish to remind you that the peace of society, of a country, and indeed of the world is destroyed through injustice. This is why Allah the Almighty has said in the Quran that your enmity or dislike of any nation or people should never lead you to treat them unjustly. Rather, it is essential that you must act in a just way at all times, whatever the circumstances, because that is closer to righteousness and goodness. And to be righteous is something that God Almighty has ordained. What I have just described is an example of the highest form and level of developing peace in the world. This is because it is very easy to maintain peaceful and friendly relations with those people with whom you bear no grudge or enmity. However, Islam teaches that even if you do bear hatred or enmity towards someone, you must still fulfill their due rights without exception. This is because ultimately such justice could lead to the hatred being transformed into love and friendship. Therefore, your fairness and equity will prove to be a means of developing peace in the world. It is precisely because of this very teaching that the Ahmadiyya community raises the slogan and bears the motto of love for all and hatred for none. Thus, even to those who oppose us or show enmity towards us, we extend our hand of friendship. With deep regret, I should hereby mention that I have heard that for some time, certain people or groups have been spreading hatred against the Ahmadis due to their own vested interests. Ahmadis are used to being targeted and so will always bear such cruelties with great patience and tolerance. However, at a wider level, such behavior could prove to be extremely dangerous for the future of the nation. Although it is in very small areas and some remote areas, but I have heard some of the cases. In order to maintain the beauty of the high moral standards of this country, it is necessary that all parties must work together to safeguard against any decline. I would like to draw your attention towards one matter in particular. The government should be aware that it is quite possible for certain extremist elements to enter the country on the pretext of benefiting from the various investment opportunities or schemes of the government. This risk should be kept in view by the policymakers when determining future immigration and investment policies. This is because we find that whenever there is financial downturn or crisis, it leads to a decline in moral standards. Because of both the financial difficulties faced by the public and also as a result of the influence of those who immigrate into the country, either for work purposes or as investors. In particular, such investments that relate to inappropriate religious activities and practices are a cause for concern. The global financial crisis is affecting all parts of the world today, and so Canada will also be affected to some degree. This is why I'm drawing attention to this matter, because in such circumstances, the government must be vigilant and cautious. It should endeavor to remove the concerns and worries of its people. This is essential because such anxieties lead to restlessness, which in turn leads to thinking ill of others and making false allegations. If such ill will is allowed to develop, then there is no doubt it will disturb the peace of society. Indeed, for the entire world to become Canada, we must keep a vigilant eye on all forms of extremism and extremists. A close eye must be kept on those who try to enter the country on the pretext of business or investment. And within your own circles, I would urge all of you to convey this point to those who are in power and authority. Although Canada is at present far away from those parts of the world where there is currently major strife and disorder. However, Canada is a party to a range of international treaties and agreements, and it is one of the major powers of the world that is actively striving to establish peace and harmony. Certainly, those who are determined to spread extremism can target and cause serious harm of all countries that are party to such international agreements. Remember, during the Second World War, Canada was not heavily involved, yet still around 45,000 Canadians were killed. However, in today's world, Canada is involved in global affairs to a much greater degree than at that time. Therefore, no doubt, the eyes and glances of those who hold extremist ideologies are cast upon this country. It is not necessary that they will conduct a large-scale terrorist attack, but instead they may take a more subtle approach, whereby they will seek to gradually spread their hate-filled ideologies upon entering the country. And certainly, one common and relatively easy way of entering the country is on the pretext of business, trade, and investment. As far as the Ahmadiyya Muslim Jamaat is concerned, we follow those teachings that are the real and true teachings of Islam. Some of these I have just spoken about. We believe in the promised Messiah and guided one who came to clarify and manifest the reality of Islam's teachings. The founder of the Ahmadiyya community, Hazrat Mirza Ghulam Ahmad of Qadian, al-Islam, taught us that he had been sent to bring man closer to God and to make mankind worshippers of the one God. Further, the promised Messiah al-Islam said that he had also come to bring an end to all religious wars, and that the era in which wars were fought in the name of religion had now passed. The promised Messiah Islam also explained that another major purpose of his advent was to make people fulfill each other's mutual rights. He was sent to draw the attention of all people to the need of fulfilling the rights of one another and thus create an atmosphere of love, affection, compassion, and brotherhood so that peace could be established in the world. The Ahmadiyya Muslim community has always tried to further this mission and endeavors to spread these teachings throughout the world. And this is something that we continue to do and, God willing, always will. Indeed, members of the community are regularly giving huge sacrifices towards this effort. As a further means towards achieving these objectives, I recently wrote a letter to Pope Benedict. In the letter, I reminded him that as a religious leader, he ought to make full efforts to establish peace in the world. Furthermore, I have also written to various world leaders, including Israel's Prime Minister, Iran's President, and also to Iran's spiritual leaders. I have also written to China's President and the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom, to President Obama, and also to your Prime Minister, Stephen Harper. I requested all of them to make a concerted effort to save the world from destruction by establishing the equal rights of all people and to lead their nations towards true justice. I urge them to help and assist the smaller and weaker nations. I called on them to try their utmost to remove the anxieties and fears of the people of the world so that everlasting peace could be established. If such efforts are not made, then neither the United Nations nor any alliance of powerful nations will be able to prevent that grave war which the world stands on the brink of. If such a war does come to pass, then it is not at all unlikely that nuclear weapons will be used, and the horrific effects of such weapons will be truly devastating and will last for generations to come. During the Second World War, only the United States possessed nuclear weapons, and so the vast majority of that war was fought with conventional weapons. Nevertheless, still between 75 to 80 million people lost their lives. We look at the world today and find that even small countries have come to possess nuclear weapons and other extremely dangerous weapons. This is a cause of great fear, particularly given that in some countries such weapons are under the influence of extremists. Therefore, we face a truly terrifying and alarming state of affairs. May Allah safeguard the world from this destruction, and may He protect Canada from the effects of all of this. I pray that may the entire world come to recognize its Creator, and may the people of the world come to be those who safeguard and fulfill the right of true human values and qualities. Amen. At the end, I would like to once again thank all of you for attending this event today and listening to what I have said. May Allah bless you all. Thank you very much again.